You got a pretty nice mic set up there. You do some podcasting yourself, or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm a co-host for the D&D Outdoors Podcast. So
D&D Outdoors Podcast. How long have you been doing that?
we just uploaded episode 107 today.
107, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that podcast.
It's I'm one of the co-hosts. Dell is the other guy. He's currently in Texas. And we just talk about the current events of the outdoor news stuff, the records that might be popping up or law changes or anything like that. Then we'll joke around a little bit, talk about our hunting seasons and stuff.
Pretty cool. So you're talking about big deer that have been getting shot? You said something about records?
Yeah, this last episode, from what I can remember, he was talking about the first bighorn or first mountain goat killed in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah, that it was it's like a once in a lifetime to see them, and the guy didn't even have a tag for it because they didn't even have them listed there. So he got a once in a lifetime harvest on that one.
Really? That's awesome. Well, before we get started, Dustin, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, all that good information.
All right. My name is Dustin, from Madison Heights, Virginia. It's a small town right outside of Lynchburg, pretty much central Virginia, hour from the North Carolina border. I grew up hunting. I grew up in a hunting family. My grandfather actually was on the cover of a magazine for coon hunting back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bunch of blue ribbons and trophies and all that he had, and he was actually on a cover of a magazine.
Is that kind of how you got started, is with him?
Oh, he would do the coon hunting thing, and my dad got into deer hunting, and we got into they got into a hunting camp or hunting lease or whatever you want to call them. And we would go up there, and my grandfather would be the cook for the week. My dad and uncle and a couple of other guys would hunt, and I'd either stay with my grandfather, go with my dad or whatever. But, my grandfather, that's one of my earliest memories, was being about 4 and him giving me a 410 shotgun. And I could barely hold it up. So we had it leaned up on some stuff, and I remember pulling the trigger and just seeing straight up in the air and him standing over me laughing at me. So after that, I ain't worried about shooting anything, and the kick of it.
At 4 years old, that probably seems like a pretty big gun.
Yeah. I kind of did that with my son and a muzzleloader, so.
Tell me about that.
Oh, I enjoy hunting with the cap and ball style muzzleloader, and I had one that was still loaded from a season and didn't want to leave it loaded. And he was with me at the time, so I was, well, go ahead and shoot this. And he had to have been about 4 because he wasn't in school yet, and it put him on his tail. And funny enough that now he is 15, and that's his preferred weapon is a muzzleloader.
Interesting. Okay, let's back up a little bit. You got started at a young age, getting knocked on your butt with the 410. Tell me a little bit about some of your younger years going out, even before you were the one doing the shooting when you're out hunting.
My dad was always the one that would try to, keep me warm. He'd take sleeping bags out there, wrap me up, try to keep me warm. He'd put me in a stand, and he might walk around a little bit. I always had a gun with me, trying to think. It's
Was it one of those deals where you weren't really actually hunting yet, but you carried around a BB gun?
it was a real gun. It might not have been loaded, but but it was a real gun.
Yep.
But yeah, it was. I was thinking my early teens before I actually killed a deer, and then it was off to the races after that.
It took you that long to kill a deer you were going with just weren't getting the opportunity to harvest a deer?
Yeah, it was just wasn't having the opportunity, and then finally everything lined up, and I got to take a doe.
Okay. It's interesting to hear some of the stories how people got their first deer. You remember it, how it all went down?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was. I was old enough to where I wasn't hunting with my dad anymore per se. I was hunting. We were maybe a ridge apart, so I could hear him climbing in his stand. The chains on the steps, I could hear those as he was going up. And I remember I'd gotten cold, so it was about 9:30 in the morning, and I went over to him to get him to go back to the truck. And as we were coming out, she was standing facing me, and he was, go ahead and take her. I couldn't see her through the scope. That's how close she was. So I just kind of had to cock a gun to the side and look down the barrel and popped her head on right in the chest.
What kind of weapon were you using?
243 pump.
243 pump, huh?
Yeah.
Not even a lever action.
I've upgraded to a bolt action now in a 243.
Haven't taken the next step to an AR?
I've got a couple ARs. I bounce back and forth between, if it's a rifle, it's a 243, or I got a 308 single shot that I'll bounce back and forth between.
Okay. And muzzleloader is your weapon of choice?
At the time, right now, yeah, it's the old cap and ball, shooting a 54 caliber.
Really?
I just finished building one, an early Christmas gift to myself.
Early Christmas gift.
Yeah, it's one of them at least.
Tell me about this. How would you get into the ball and patch muzzleloaders?
I'm old enough where I can remember Virginia only had bow season and then rifle season. It wasn't any muzzleloader season. And then they introduced it as a primitive means, and it was back then. It was the cap and ball. It wasn't the inlines, and everybody was either in an uproar about it, or you kind of tried to figure it out as you were going. So we never used them until later on. I actually went out and bought one, just because it gives me an extra few weeks in the woods. So it really got me when we were hunting one property, and the biggest buck at that time walked by me, and all I heard that thing go was click, and then the deer took off running. So I'd take the thing home, I cleaned it, and just so happens the next weekend, that same buck come by me again, and I actually popped it. And I remember going back to the truck and getting my dad and all, and he actually paid to get it mounted for me. He was just as excited as I was.
And you said the first muzzleloader you got was ball and patch.
Yeah, and I stuck with it after that.
In Virginia, let's talk about the hunting seasons in Virginia. How are they set up?
They have the youth season now. That is the last weekend of September. So that means the youth can go out and they can use whichever weapon they want up to their 16th birthday. And then the first weekend in October is bow season. Bow season will run the whole month of October. Muzzleloader season will come in the first weekend in November and run for about 2 weeks, and then rifle season will come in.
Okay. During muzzleloader, What kind of restrictions do they have on weapon of choice for a muzzleloader?
It has to be above everything in Virginia to take a big game, and they call big game deer, turkey, and bear. So those three, you have to have at least a 24 caliber. So 243 is the smallest round that you could use. So most people are going with a 50 cal here. And I got a 54, and some people are using a 45. Not many people are using what I think it's a 36.
Could be.
So it's all in your choice, really.
I didn't know some states are getting rid of some of the higher technology muzzleloaders. Arizona, New Mexico, some of those western states, they don't want the smokeless powder.
So they like the inlines or
Black powder substitutes. And most of them, you can't even use a scope on the muzzleloader.
okay. I've seen the ads for the ones where you take your breech out and you replace the breech, and you're pretty much loading everything into. It looks like a shotgun shell, so it turns it into a single shot. And
Yeah.
personally, I don't agree with that being a muzzleloader, but to each their own, really.
I'd have to see how those are set up. For some reason, I think the bolt still needs to come in the front somehow.
I've seen the ads for it, and I kind of just, it's not my cup of tea. I'll just go back on over here.
You can use an inline muzzleloader during your muzzleloader season. You just choose not to.
Correct. My son uses a inline
What's he have?
Remington
Ultimate
something. I
bolt action.
no, it was something my dad had won in a gun raffle. It's not a bolt action. It's right there at the breech. It's just like a little flap that you flip over, and you put your primer right there, then you flip it back over, and you pull your hammer back right behind that.
And it's a Remington?
Yeah.
When did he win that?
Well, let's see. Before 2010.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So back to the ball and patch. You wanted to hunt muzzleloader.
Mhm.
Why ball and patch?
It's something about that just it hooked me, really. It's you still have that connection to the past, to all the history and all that, come through Virginia, really, or any of the states, mainly Virginia. We have, we go to Williamsburg and watch them make the old-timey colonial muzzleloaders here.
Were you a pretty experienced hunter at that time?
When I started hunting with a muzzleloader,
Yep.
I'm not even sure if I'm that experienced now.
I'm just intrigued because it seems unusual for somebody in our generation to choose to go that direction.
Little side note here. I've tried the crossbow. I've tried the compound bow, and I've decided to go back to the recurve bow now.
Really?
Yeah, it's just I guess I'm in reverse or something. I don't know.
What were your thoughts on the compound and the recurve? Or compound and crossbow?
Crossbow, it didn't feel right to me. I'm gonna blame my dad on this one. He gave me the curse. I've stuck one doe years and years ago, and I ricocheted off of a rock when I hit her with a compound bow. The crossbow, I have shot a round deer with that because the way the sticks were in the blind, I couldn't get a flat, shot, so I kind of angled the crossbow. And I guess when it come out, it kind of just, it was either it curved around her because of that, or I was just nervous. I ain't sure yet.
Which one's the easiest to shoot out of the three?
Crossbow is the easiest, of course, but I mean, that's just it's very similar to a gun. It's just you got a line of crosshairs up, pull the trigger.
I've never been around one. How do they cock those? Do you crank them or pull them back?
Both. It's you have some of the the high dollar ones that you can attach a crank to where if you're not tall enough or you are not strong enough, you have shoulder issues or whatever, you can actually, it's like a little crank that you can crank back. Most of them, it's got a little thing in the front that you stick your foot in, and it comes with a cable with 2 hooks on it, and those 2 hooks will go over your string right beside the shaft of it, and you just pull it back till it clicks.
What do you think the difference is in the range between recurve, compound, and crossbow?
Recurve, they're gonna have to be right there on you. It's
20 yards max?
yeah. Anything past that, you gonna have to put some time in, a whole lot of time. Compound, yeah, it's again, you have to put in time with anything, but compound, I think my sights go up to 50 yards, I
50
believe.
or 60?
Yeah, and I don't think I do 60. It's too far for me with a compound. And then crossbow that thing zipping on through there fast enough anyway, where again, it's just like a gun. It's just line the crosshairs up and pull the trigger.
You think you can get to 100 yards with a crossbow?
Me personally, no. No. They probably have somebody out there that can. You're probably old enough to remember some of them outdoor TV shows that they were doing all those trick shots on and all, and they were doing 200-yard shots with them little North American Arms 22 Magnums that were about like that.
Yeah.
So you spend enough time doing it, you'll eventually hit it.
I imagine you can get 80, 90-yard shots with a crossbow.
Not me though. It's like I said, this year I decided I was going to go back and do the recurve.
I'd like to give it a shot at some point.
Yeah, it was a groundhog in the yard, and my son was talking about he was going to go get to 22, and I was like, no, I'll do it. I hit that with the recurve.
Really?
Yeah.
And are you just, on the recurves, are you using standard arrows or do you have a special arrow?
You can use any type of arrows. Mine are the ones that look like wood arrows, because
Really?
I'm cheap and I'm not going to spend, close to $100 for some wooden arrows.
Yep. I think just about anything with archery, man, it just adds up so fast, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's talk about this muzzleloader you built for Christmas. Tell me a little bit more about this.
I done got into where I like to build things now. I built a couple ARs, and those I've seen the kits for a while, and I was like, I ought to try it. And I finally found one I liked, and I went ahead and got it. And yeah, I took a time, sanding it the way I wanted it, and trying to pick out the right stain for it. And it's looking pretty good. It took me a while to get the bluing. I had to actually find somewhere that had gun bluing.
When you bought this kit, tell me the steps that you need to go through to make an old style ball and patch muzzleloader.
You had to blue the barrel because it come in just bare metal. Couple of the parts came in bare metal. Couple of them, they wouldn't take your bluing because they were a cheaper metal, so I ended up spray painting them. But then you have the stock. You actually have to take and sand that. It's real rough, like you can sand it to where it fits you the best, I guess is the proper way to say that one. And just I took it and just sanded it all down till, it fits me comfortably. And then I went on to the staining part of it, and then you steel wool it and stain it again, and a can of clear coat went on it. So,
But in terms of the action, what comes together assembled versus, is there any head spacing you have to do? How does that all work?
the barrel comes in one piece. The part that the barrel will go into you have to bolt that into the stock, and then it kinda has like a little hook on the end of the barrel that'll hook into it when you and then you put the pin through the forearm of it, and that kinda holds the barrel, there. As far as your hammer and your trigger assembly, everything came pre-assembled. You had to put it in there, but it if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Have you shot it yet?
Not yet, not yet.
Are you nervous?
No.
I suppose they're probably not as dangerous as some of these modern muzzleloaders.
No, it's I was more nervous with the ARs because I was worried about, did I gap everything right? Is everything right? And so muzzleloader, yeah, it's I might put a smaller charge in it, but yeah, I should be all right.
What kind of powder do you use in those?
I'm using the loose grains. It's the same. I've had the same bottle for crap, man, 20 years.
Is it actually black powder?
Yeah.
It's not a substitute like 777 or anything?
It's a black powder.
I bet that stuff's gotta be hard on the metal.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, if the barrel is hardened from the get go when it's made, I don't guess it would be.
But are you cleaning those out on a regular basis?
Oh yeah, the old timey muzzleloaders like that, they tell you to clean out between shots.
Really?
Yeah.
Deep clean or just dry patch?
Oh, I typically will take a barrel off and take it in the shower with me.
Really?
Yeah.
They get that gummed up, huh?
Yeah, it takes a while to get all the powder to come out to where then you can run your dry patch and all through it.
That's interesting. If you didn't clean it out between shots, are you getting another one down there?
Yeah.
Are you?
I have shot a deer and then put another round in it. I have done that. So yeah, I can get another round in it, but
You gotta put a lot of weight on the ramrod?
yeah.
Oh, I bet. And you've been shooting this style muzzleloader for how long?
20 years.
That long, huh?
20, 25 years. Yeah, I'm old.
How many deer have you shot with these things?
It's been a few of them. My first big deer I shot with it. It was 129 inch. I am I, I will shoot a doe and have no problems with it. I shoot more does than I do bucks. It's got to be a pretty decent buck, or it's coming through with something wrong with it before I'll shoot. That's just me. Uh, Trying to think. It's yes, it's a lot of does with them. The one big buck. The other big buck that I have in the living room was with my dad's inline. I was I was he had loaded that at least a year. He had 3 major strokes in December of 2012. So he had loaded that at least the season before that, and it was in the gun case for about 8 years, loaded,
Really?
and I had taken it out, and I was like, "Well, he's the last one that had it. He loaded this. I wonder if it'll shoot." And I took it out one night, and I had my son in the stand with me. He was facing this way, and I was standing up, and I was just facing the tree, looking at some does that had come in behind him. And then I just heard that "rah, rah, rah" coming in, and I went for the gun, and he's, "What is that? What is that?" And as soon it stepped into the field and it looked at the blind that we normally get in, but we were on the other side, and I popped him, and it went off. It hit him, and luckily my friend up there that lives close to where I hunt at is his thing. He loves tracking. I'm talking. We ran out of blood, and he was on his hands and knees with a miner hat looking, and he found it, and yeah, it's sitting on the wall in the living room now.
This thing sat loaded for how long? And you didn't even clean it out before taking it out?
I was stupid on my part, yeah, but it was about 8 years.
You follow us on Facebook? Did you see the muzzleloader one recently?
I saw the pictures of the ones that you did.
Yep. I'm a little skeptical about what you did, man.
Ignorance, man, ignorance on my behalf. I'll admit it.
I don't know how many people I've heard since that it's either happened to or they're cleaning it out, pulling the breech thinking it's empty and it's loaded or something stupid, or they double loaded and cleaned it out at the end of the year and is powder bullet, and they thought it was just one round the whole time.
Yeah, it's that's another advantage for me in the patch and ball. At the end of the season, if I'll shoot it off, but if I don't, I stick it in the shower. It's water all in that powder. It's and then I got to get a ball puller.
Ball puller? What do
Yeah.
you mean ball puller?
It's
Oh, those don't have a breech plug. You can't just pull it out and push it through the back, huh?
that's the old deal with it's like a screw that goes on a ramrod, and you got to stick it down there and press it into the ball, and then pull it out.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-mm. Done once, twice like that.
I bet it doesn't come out very easy.
It's a whole lot easier if you pull the trigger.
Oh, I bet. What's the range on these muzzleloaders?
I'm putting 100 grains of powder in there, and I'm open sights. I'm comfortable at 50 to 75 yards. I might be able to squeeze out 100 yards out of it.
And what kind of pattern do you get out of them if you're target shooting?
Well, it's a ball, so it's
Well, I get that. That's why I'm asking.
it's rifled though, so it ain't that bad. It ain't as
Oh,
bad.
they're
as you think.
rifled barrels?
Yeah,
Interesting.
you can actually shoot those sabots in there.
I suppose. Okay, we're shooting 50 to 75 yards.
Yeah.
What kind of damage does a ball do when it hits a deer?
Well, it's they don't mushroom. They keep going.
They're not just soft lead.
They get a little deformed. No, let's see. Big one I was telling you about that I shot.
You were able to recover it, huh? It didn't pass all the way through? Oh, really? Is that the whole thing or just part of it?
That's the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, it
There's the
deformed
round
quite a
part
bit.
right there.
Yeah. The way you described it, they stayed pretty much the same shape. That deformed quite a bit.
They deform a little bit, but
It's not going to mushroom.
they don't mushroom. They just when you look at back when they were having the wars like the Civil War and all that, when they hit a person with a ball, it wasn't the ball that killed them most of the time. It was the particles that pushed into the body that caused the infection, and that's what killed them. But they don't mushroom; they just keep going.
And split apart and fragment.
It's a whole lot easier to shoot through some brush and all with those too.
Yeah, I suppose if they're not expanding, at least they don't bounce off.
Right.
That's interesting. So let's back up a little bit. Said you're older. You've been muzzleloader hunting for 20 years. How old were you when you picked that up?
I'm around 20. I'm 45 now, so
45.
yeah.
Were you the first in the area to do some of that old style muzzleloader, or did you have a mentor?
At that point in time, everybody was going to the inlines. And like I said, I'd found one of the cap and balls at one of the hardware stores for $75 used.
They're selling used
Yeah.
muzzleloaders at the hardware store.
Yep. That's where I picked it up at.
Do they sell guns there, or they just had one sitting in the corner?
Oh, they sell guns there too.
Do they?
used guns. I think they do the new ones as well.
Virginia's a little bit different.
Yeah, for now.
What do you mean for now?
We get a Democratic governor next month.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. She's already got the thing on the list about magazine capacities.
High priorities.
Exactly.
When was the last time you had a Democratic governor?
A couple of years ago, probably. For some reason, if you look at this state, the whole state will go red except for around D.C. and around the coast. And they go blue, and it takes the whole state blue.
It's kind of how Iowa is. You have your 2 or 3 major cities, and the rest of the state is red.
I don't get it. But, oh well.
Hopefully it's only a couple of years.
Yeah, it's... I like to think that there ain't nothing they can do because of the Constitution, but...
Oh, they can do enough. Looking back at all your years hunting, you've shot some unique weapons, crossbow, compound, traditional bow, old-style muzzleloader. Which weapon were you using your all-time favorite hunt?
My all-time favorite hunt? Which weapon I used?
Yeah, I want to hear about your all-time favorite hunt.
That's a hard one because it's let's see, it's my buffalo. I had the 308. The ram. I had the 308. My son shot his pig with the 308.
Where were you getting all this stuff from?
The buffalo. I had gotten bored one night and was on eBay, and it was a place in Tennessee going out of business. And it was a hunting lodge, and they were going out of business. So I got the hunt cheaper than what they bought the buffalo for.
Really?
Yeah.
They just kind of have not so much an exotics ranch, but non-native to the state ranch.
They had pigs are pretty much everywhere except for Virginia. It's certain spots of Virginia that they kind of hit and miss with, but that place had those. That was the last buffalo they had. They had a couple ram there, and they had a Watusi there.
Is that where you shot the ram too?
That was I took him further out into Tennessee for his 6th birthday to kill his pig, and he did that like a first or second day. So we had another day left. So I was like, I want to kill one of those Corsica rams, so I'll do that.
Rams aren't native to that area, are they?
I figured that'd be my only chance. I ain't going out west and spending thousands and thousands of dollars on one.
Yeah, it gets pretty spendy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you have to draw for so long, depending on the state.
I was telling Dell that drawing system don't make sense to me because it's quote unquote random. But if I don't get it this year, I get points next year.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't add up for me, I guess.
Have you ever put your name in a draw system before?
Yeah.
What's on the bucket list?
It was an alligator draw in South Carolina.
They make you draw for alligators? Really?
$5 to put in and you had to tell them what zone you were going to and what guide service you were going to use.
And how long did you have to draw?
That was 1 year. If they drew your name, then you had to contact the guide. You had to go in and you'd buy your license after that. I never made it that far, though.
You just gave up or what?
It kind of fell off the radar. It was about the time my wife at the time was pregnant and Knucklehead was born.
You still want to go get an alligator?
Yeah, yeah. Him and I were just down there doing a turkey/pig hunt back in April, and alligators were kind of hanging around down there where we were.
Where was this at?
South Carolina.
Okay. You might have to start putting your name back in again.
Yeah, but you got some of the places down there that already have the tags, and you just got to pay per foot.
And how expensive does that get?
It's a couple $1,000.
For an alligator?
Yeah.
No thanks, man.
And then I wanna say it's something like $200 for the license. I think something like that.
You would think there'd be enough of them where it wouldn't be that expensive. Is it like that everywhere that you have to draw and pay that much?
It's furthest I went with it was right there, so I'm not a aficionado about it.
You wanna shoot an alligator, what else are you gonna go after?
Uh, More and more I think about it like a cow elk with a muzzleloader
Why cow elk?
because 'cause they're cheaper than a bull elk.
Cheaper than a bull elk?
Yeah,
That makes sense.
same amount of meat, really.
Where would you go to get a cow elk?
Actually, Virginia is doing a lottery now. They have introduced them into the western part of Virginia, and they draw five names a year.
Good luck with that one.
I know, but I think it's like a 90% success rate if you get drawn.
If they're doing 5 a year, the chances of you getting one in your lifetime are probably pretty slim.
But you can go to Tennessee or Kentucky, which are bordering Virginia. Before they started reintroducing them, it was if you hunted around the borders of Kentucky, that if they migrated across the border, that you could actually use one of your deer tags to check in an elk.
Are you kidding me? They didn't want elk in the state?
It's probably easier to do it that way than to tell a bunch of people, "Hey, don't shoot the big elk, the big cow thing with horns on. Don't shoot that." It was never defined cow or bull. It was you could check an elk in with your deer tags.
Were a lot of people hunting the borders?
I'm about 3 hours away, so I don't know.
That's fascinating.
So now they're trucking them in, and you can put in for a draw and get to hunt with I think it if I understand it correctly, if you get drawn that you have to hunt with a game warden, and you have to pay to hunt people's property out there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that was just the way I took it.
And I'm guessing the bulls are gonna be off limits?
No, that's what everybody's been shooting.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was cow elk only.
No, that was me. I'll shoot a cow because it's cheaper.
Are some of the elk that are getting harvested in Virginia pretty decent size?
Oh yeah.
Are they really? You better start putting your name in, man.
Eh, it might just be a whole lot less hassle just to go across to Kentucky and get a guide or something. I don't know. Hunting with a game warden.
What, do you got a bad rap or something?
No, it's just it'd be my luck. I'd do something that, just oh, you're not supposed to do that. My mistake, man. I'm nervous with you.
How much wrong can you do with the ball and patch?
Oh, trust me, I can do a whole lot wrong.
No restrictions. What's the hunting culture like in Virginia? Obviously, Virginia's not nearly as well known for hunting compared to Iowa, but maybe I'm just not familiar with it.
It's changed in my lifetime. I was sitting back thinking about that over the past week. You have I grew up with the hunting cabins and hunting lot or the hunting leases and all where, a group of people that didn't have land per se could go in and if you had property, I'd be like, "Hey man, you give me permission to hunt your property, I'll get enough money together, we'll pay you your taxes for the year." And I'd go back and get a bunch of people. We all chip in and we get your money and we'd hunt your property. And now it's more, you gotta have your own property because it's nobody wants to let other people hunt their property because of, liability issues. I don't know how you hunt. Uh, I've been around a couple people that, the wind blows a bush and they're shooting at the bush.
Really?
Yeah, it can be a little dangerous.
Even if they're getting offered money, they still won't let people hunt.
Mm-mm.
Is that pretty common in Virginia?
In the area I'm in, yeah.
Really? How would you describe the size of deer in Virginia? What's considered a big deer in your area?
You could have some big sixes, some eights or normal. And then every once in a while, you have some of these freak monsters coming out, and you'll see them plastered all over Facebook.
What's a freak monster?
It comes out with like little nubs everywhere, or it'll have instead of the horns almost looked a little webbed. I saw one the other day that was like that. It kind of looked like a fallow deer almost, the horn wise.
Palmated?
Yeah, and you'll have some different oddities here and there. My son killed a piebald 2 years ago.
Really?
Mhm.
A majority of the deer in your area are 6 or 8 pointers?
Yeah, like I said, every once in a while you'll come up with something, 10 or something like that.
But not very common, huh?
Not in my area. It's eights are common, and like I said, you might catch something. Uh, you can have trail cameras out, and all of a sudden one day something will show up, and then he's gone the next.
Has it always been like that? I remember when I was younger, where I hunt, it was a lot of 6 and 8s. Now, you don't see very many 6s, and I would say if you saw 20 bucks, 40% of them might be 10 pointers, when 10 pointers were pretty rare 25 years ago or longer.
I go back to it's one of the Facebook groups around here is talking about they're going to an earn a buck program. A lot of the counties are. My county, this is the first year for it, where if you shoot a buck or any antlered deer, you have to kill a doe before you can kill another one. And they're trying to do that to get a better buck population. And a lot of people are complaining about people are checking in ghost deers, ghost does, I think is what they called them, where, you shoot a buck and another one comes by and you shoot that one and you just go in because it's all on your phone now. You just check in a doe and you never even shot one. But they're talking about trying to ideas of how to change things to preserve you know, the accurate data that Richmond has given us, the DNR has given us, and the genetics, I guess is what you'd say, as far as, I think what, y'all only get 1 or 2 bucks a year?
Now, if you're a landowner or rent some ground, you can have 3.
I think they were trying to get 1, maybe 2 buck tags here is what they were thinking.
If there's one thing I could change about Iowa, it'd be going from 2 bucks to 1.
And that makes sense to me. Is the 6-pointer I killed this year, it was a good deer, but he come in limping. So I shot him. If he didn't come in limping and I only had 1 tag, would I have shot? No, probably. Eh, it's all in the person of what they think the trophy is, really. It's some people might have passed on him, but I didn't.
Yeah, everybody has their own reason for being out there hunting.
Yeah, it's I think of it as passing on a tradition. I get to see, you know, when I was younger, going with my dad, and he was always pushing me to be the one behind the trigger. And, you get a little selfish with that and you always wanna shoot, and now it's my turn to play that role of, I get to see my son coming in, and it's trying to put him behind the trigger.
How do people primarily hunt in Virginia? Is it a lot of stand sitting, deer drives?
Uh, you have certain groups that the county I am in, it's a highway that goes right up in the middle of it. West of 29, is still hunting only. Well, no dogs, I should say. You can do man drives or you can do the still hunting on that side. East of 29, they do they run dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
They turn dogs out, they start chasing the deer, and they'll just they'll follow the tracking of the dog and follow them around the roads. And from what I'm told by the people that are doing it, they step off on the other side of the ditch line, so they are legal when they shoot.
What do you think about that?
Again, not my cup of tea. Um, I enjoy sitting in a stand, relaxes me a little bit.
I mean, personally, I won't say I'm against deer drives. They're not my cup of tea, but man, bringing dogs into the equation, that's a little too much.
Now, if you wanna, bird hunt with dogs, that I enjoy that. The way they'll get in there and they'll get to pointing at the bird and stuff like that, I enjoy that. But deer with dogs, that's not my cup of tea.
No place for these deer to hide.
It's a bunch of thickets through some of these places, so that's where they'll send the dogs through, or when you're a younger person, they'll send the younger people through to run deer out, but, yeah, I'd just rather sit in a stand.
At least if you're walking with people, deer has a chance of outsmarting you a little bit, letting you walk by. That's not happening with dogs.
No, it's they'll run them until, they're exhausted. They do the same thing with bear here. They'll run them with dogs
Interesting.
until they get one of them 500 plus pound bears, and those, they don't run.
I can imagine. I don't know if I asked you this. In general, how's the hunting culture there? Is there a high number of hunters? Everybody hunt? Is it hard finding spots to hunt because there are so many hunters?
It's some national forest here, which is public land. You gotta buy a tag to go on there. It's a lot of people hunt in this area, and people hunt different things. Like I said, I got friends that they prefer bear hunting over deer hunting. That's his thing. Uh,
Is it pretty competitive getting access to some of this ground?
I bought land, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Sitting on a pretty good hunting spot there?
I've got my little place. I think I was telling you, I just bought another piece that joined up against it.
You didn't tell me squat, brother.
I thought I did, man.
I didn't even know you owned land.
Yeah. That 6-pointer I shot was that was my first sit on the new property.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you buy that?
Last month.
No kidding. You live on the property?
No, I'm about 30 minutes away from it.
Is that going to change someday?
No, I'm pretty dug in here. Now, if the neighbor up there, if something happens to her, I've made mention that my son ought to buy her place to add on to the family farm there, and then he'd have a place.
How many acres you got over there?
Now is 25.
25? Is that how everything is kind of split up there? A lot of smaller parcels?
Oh, no. The one beside, my original piece, the back side of it butts up to the piece I just bought. And the piece beside that is a 40-acre lot. And I think down the road, they just sold a 200-acre one.
And just happened to be where you bought yours, there's just a couple small parcels there. Is recreational ground pretty expensive in Virginia?
I think the average price in this county, when I looked at it, was $5,000 to $7,000 an acre.
Just for hunting ground?
Just for bare ground.
It's about like Iowa, man.
Now, I didn't pay that, but yeah.
What do you have for crops in the area? You in tobacco country?
That is a little bit south of us. About an hour south of us is tobacco country. It butts up here a little bit. We've got the old tobacco barns and all in Lynchburg, but it's whatever people are putting in as food plots really now out where I'm at. It's somebody just bought a big piece and they cleared it all off. And it looks pretty, but I think they're doing horses or something. I ain't sure. I ain't sure what they're doing out there.
For farmers in the area, are they growing crops?
Just personal stuff, whatever their personal gardens are. It's not. It's more beef, cows around here.
When you're out driving on the road, it's not. You have to drive quite a ways to see like a cornfield or bean field.
Cornfields for us is like corn mazes for Halloween, man. The fields around here are beef. It's they got cows out in there. When you go, like I said, about an hour south, you'll start picking up, the tobacco fields.
Is it hill country where you're at?
A little bit, yeah. It's not bad, but a little bit.
Have you been to Iowa?
No.
Man, I should show you a map. That's why I'm so intrigued by what you're saying, because you can't go a couple miles without seeing a crop field right here.
Now, the closer you go out towards the coast, everything will flatten out, and they actually have the peanut fields there. But you're not allowed to hunt with a rifle there. You got to hunt with a shotgun there.
This is kind of my area. All these are crops.
Yeah, it's nothing like
You
that.
got a little timber here. I would say 95% of the ground is row crops, then maybe 5% timber.
Apples, we got a couple orchards further north of me, but yeah, it's mostly cow around where I'm at.
If the deer want to eat, it's just browsing, or people have to put in food plots.
Yeah.
If somebody puts in a good food plot, they're going to put themselves at a pretty big advantage then, huh?
Yeah, for the most part. It's then again, I've talked to some of the neighbors up there when they're putting in food plots and trying to give a variety of food, just so not everybody's planting turnips or this or that.
Where do you live in Virginia?
Madison Heights.
Okay, I'm looking at a map. Give me some more direction, buddy.
All right, the property that I'm on is on 130. Look for.
Okay, I'm looking at Virginia. You got what part of the state? I see Lynchburg.
Yeah, I can see Lynchburg from my front porch, but the property I hunt on is closer to Big Island.
I'm just zooming in. Man, holy crap, there's a lot of timber around here.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's like the inverse of Iowa. Timber, I bet it's 40% timber. You wouldn't think you'd have trouble finding a place to hunt in that area.
Yeah, people snatch it up. Yeah, it's a whole lot of Northerners that move down here, and they are anti-hunters.
Really? From the D.C. area or what?
The one beside me is from New York City, or New York, something, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Wanted to get out of a liberal state and ended up with a liberal governor?
Yeah, she moved down here and then tried to tell me where I could and couldn't hunt at on my own property.
How'd that go for her?
Game warden had to go talk to her.
She's just being kind of a Karen, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. If you're from Iowa, I mean, you're so used to this style of hunting, and I've actually interviewed somebody he's New Jersey. I think he is from New Jersey. Just different ball game out there compared to where we're at.
Yeah, it's one of the neighbors up there. I think he's got family up in New Jersey. He just went up there hunting.
Yeah, I don't think the deer get that big up there either.
You look at the deer here, and then you go to South Carolina, and they look smaller, but then, the guide from South Carolina was texting me a week or two ago about some of the deer that the clients were getting, and they're pretty decent deer. It's body-wise, they're just as big as the ones we got here, but what happened?
West Virginia's got some pretty good deer, don't they?
If you got good cardio.
Pretty hilly.
Yeah, that's all that is, just a hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no, man, never been.
Friend of mine's up there He's been up there all this week bear hunting.
Yeah, looking at the map, it's not even a 3D map, and it looks like a lot of ridges, that's for sure. It's gotta flatten out somewhere, doesn't it?
Trying to think where his flat part on the piece I bought. I don't think I got any on there. It's some flat parts down there around the creek.
How steep of hills are these that you're hunting?
It's just a gradual grade. It ain't nothing big.
Nothing that'll take your breath away?
If you're trying to drag a deer out, yeah, it will.
Oh, I bet. It's flat as a pancake where I'm at, man. Well, compared to you.
You gotta use, four-wheel drive
For what?
to get around there where you're hunting at.
Yeah, if there's snow on the ground, but no.
Talking about, no snow, no rain, nothing like that. You gotta use four-wheel drive?
Hell no.
Okay,
You where you're at?
sometimes.
Are you kidding me?
When I shot that deer, the creek had washed out, so I couldn't get the truck up there, so I had to drag him down that property to the old property, then I had to get the truck in there. Yeah, I had to lock the four-wheel drive, get out.
That's insane, man. Not here. In some areas where I hunt, if I was, I don't know, 40 feet above ground level, I could see 30, 40 miles.
Golly, no. It if you get on a hilltop, you can look around and see pretty good, but you get to some of them ridges and the bottoms there, yeah, you ain't seeing 100 yards.
The field that I have to walk across to get to the property I hunt, it's 600-yard walk. I bet the elevation changes 5 feet from one side to the other.
Golly. Nah, huh.
You can see a long ways, man. Not very easy for the deer to hide.
I bet. You got some, what is that, pheasant tails behind you?
Got pheasant tails and pretty decent shed.
Yeah, that's pretty decent, man.
Yeah, because I'm holding it out. I can't even fit it in there. Oh, it's a nice one. I've never seen anything close to that on hoof. What's a good sized deer in your area? I can't remember if I asked you this.
Like a 6 or 8 pointer.
I mean, score wise.
I'd say 130, 140.
And people get pretty excited if they hear about somebody shooting a 130, 140.
Oh, yeah, it's about 2 years ago, across 138, it was a girl shot. It was just I think she took state in the female division of it was a big buck, just horns everywhere. It looked like a briar patch on his head.
Really?
I'll have to send you a picture of that one if I can. Let's see. If I can
I think the area I'm at, which is pretty median for Iowa, if somebody shoots a 150 or 60, people talk about it. 140 is kind of like, yeah. But we also, a 170 or 80 is pretty hard to come by where I'm at.
y'all do any turkey hunting out there?
Oh, yeah. We got plenty of turkeys here. You guys have Easterns out there? Is that what you got?
Yeah, Easterns.
Are they pretty dumb?
I wouldn't say that. I've shot at them. I've yet to take one, so I can't say they're dumb.
How long have you been hunting with them?
Uh, it's actually going out for spring gobbler hunting. It is, other than this year, maybe a handful of times.
Okay, so pretty new.
I'll catch them in the fall. 'Cause in the fall, it's either or. It's either sex. In the spring, it's only gobblers.
Yo, that's how it is in Iowa. I used to do a little bit when I was younger. I don't know if I just kind of got bored with it or what, but doesn't do a lot for me.
South Carolina, they had changed it up now to where it's no hens at all, no time during the year, and you can't shoot jakes either.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the population just not that great there?
When we were there, it was had a jake come in the first day, hens all over us all week. And the last morning, it was 5 gobblers all the way. We were surrounded by gobblers, but they're not gonna come in if they're henned up.
There for a while in Iowa is Like shooting fish out of a barrel if you wanted a turkey.
I didn't get like that here yet.
Are you done hunting for the season then?
No, our deer season runs to the first of the year.
Does it?
Like I said, our rifle season to come in, they just changed that too. Middle of November, and it'll run all the way to the end of it's January, whatever the first weekend is in January.
When's the rut in Virginia?
With this weather, we walked out the house, it was last night, and it was 2 bucks sparring across the road from us.
Really?
That is the first time I have ever seen that living here. Because my son was like, "What is that? What's that?" And I hit it with a flashlight, and it was 2 bucks sparring. And by the time we got to the car, there's a little doe run off. So it's been so hot here lately with the weather and all. People can tell you, yeah, it's going to happen on these days, this day, that day. It's like, no, I think it's the weather. It's as soon as you get that cold snap, that first cold snap, and it stays a few days, and that's what triggers it.
Could be. But before we wrap this up, I kind of have a little tradition where I asked each guest to share a couple of embarrassing hunting stories to put a bow on it.
Yeah.
You got any for me?
Trying to think, embarrassing. It's
Everybody has them.
and the first one that comes to mind is like I said, we were going to South Carolina to do that turkey and pig hunt, and I'd got the license and everything, and my son's birthday is the 1st of April, so I gave him, a turkey hunt mask, some gloves, and he's all, "Oh, what am I gonna do with it?" Blah blah. Then I handed him his license, so he's all excited and all. I was like, "Make sure you don't lose those. Do you want me to keep them?" "Yeah, you go ahead and keep them." So I put them with mine. I put them here on my desk. I was like, "All right." Normally, I put it with the camera equipment, but we won't take the camera stuff with us. And going through the checklist, we got everything. Yeah, 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 yeah. Left, and we were at the halfway point, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it hit me. You left the license on your desk.
Both of them or just his?
Both of them.
Oh, God. How far back was it?
3 hours.
You don't have a choice.
And so I'm calling Jeff up, who's the guide. I'm like, "Dude, I didn't royally screwed up here." He's like, "Yeah, you did. You need to call this number right now. Pull over and call this number." And it was the DNR, and they said, "Yeah, it's fine. You need to come to one of our offices, and we'll print you out another set." So luckily, one of their offices is an hour out away from him. We were gonna go right by it anyway, and we stopped in there, and it was like a DMV almost, that you walk in there, you fill out your forms and what you need, what you want, blah, blah, blah. You go up to the window. Yeah. I'm a dummy. I left my license at home. They print them out and hand them to us. Whew.
I'm sure that's happened before.
That'd been really bad.
This was a different state, South Carolina.
Yeah, we were going to South Carolina. We had made it like halfway through North Carolina before I realized it.
At least they got you taken care of.
Yeah, yeah. That was a good part.
What else you got for me?
I'm gonna blame my son on this one. Like I said, my dad had some strokes, and I was reloading some stuff, and I'd reloaded some bullets for him when he was in the nursing home. I took one to him. I said, "Hey, man, when you get out of here, we'll go hunting." And, he passed, and somehow, the bullet came back to the house here, and my son got it and was playing with it. Not, nothing bad and all, just, had it in his room and all. And it's like, "What are you doing with this?" "Look, I'll take it." Well, little did I know, he done took it apart and dumped some of the powder out.
What?
Yeah. And that buck, when it came in this year, I loaded that round in first.
Of course.
Yeah. I missed. And I'm like, what? How did I miss that? The second time I didn't miss. So I called him up because he was at his mama's. I was like, this is your fault. I missed this deer. But luckily I didn't on the second round. It's not my fault, blah, blah, blah. So when I picked him up, I handed him the case and I said, you take this one because this is yours now.
When did you figure out that he dumped powder out of it?
When I called him.
Really?
What'd you do to it? I took it apart and I might have lost some of the powder in it. And why?
You must not have had that tight a neck on it.
I don't know. He might have took ply. I don't know what he did. I don't know. He said he took some powder out of him. That's like, why?
How old is he?
15.
Bored. And at least you got the deer.
Yeah.
Don't worry, man. There's been worse.
Yeah, I know. I've heard them.
Have you been listening?
Yeah, man.
All of them?
I'm working my way through. I think I'm a episode or 2 behind. But I have a long list of podcasts I listen to.
How long have you been listening?
Trying to think, was it from the beginning?
I don't have that many listeners, so I go through and see where people are from, and there's always one from Virginia that's been around since the start. Reston, Virginia or something?
Depends on where the phone pings at, I guess. I don't think I binged it all, but it's...
When did you start listening?
My days run together, man.
We launched in like April or something, April, May.
In the beginning.
Yep, you're probably the one that I've always been seeing from Virginia. I'm like, who's this crazy person following us from Virginia?
Yeah, it's me then.
I feel like we're doing something pretty unique for hunting podcasts. I don't think anybody else is doing something like this yet.
Interesting to hear different points of everybody's hunting experience because, everybody's grown up different in different styles and all. I think it's interesting at least.
I think it'll catch on eventually, but when people see the clips on social media and whatnot, they just think it's another hunting podcast trying to give advice and do that. But I don't want to bring on the celebrity hunters. I want to keep it as a spotlight for people like us.
We've had a few guests on our podcast, and trying to think. It was a couple of them were different, call makers or product makers. I don't think is any quote unquote famous people.
No. And, some of those podcasts are great. Those people want to be heard and people want to hear them, but I just don't want to do the bring people on to promote their company or the famous hunters. Your mind would be blown if you saw the number of messages I got when I went on and said, hey, I need guests for podcast. Well over 100 in a day.
Could we film for a quote unquote TV show? But it's crazy how, I've emailed people, hey, we'd like to come out. For example, there was a muskie guide here in Lynchburg. Like, hey, I'd like to book a trip, me and my son. All right, great, blah, blah, blah. We can fit you in here, here, here. I was like, oh, I'm paying you. I'm a regular customer. Can I bring some camera equipment just to film some stuff? For what? YouTube or something? No, not quite. I have my own thing. And he ghosted me. He would not return my calls, my
Really?
texts, nothing. It's like, I'm paying you like a regular customer. Are you worried that, I'm going to film like, your spot? Because it's some of them has been like that. And they're like, I don't care if you film, just keep your camera down to where you can't tell where we are.
Yeah.
It's like, just tell me that.
People get weird, man.
Yeah.
But all right, man, I appreciate you joining. I'll have to look you up if I ever make it to Virginia. I won't hold your breath.
It ain't bad here.
No, but I got a lot of states to visit, and Virginia isn't at the top.
Come on, man. We've got DC here. Where else would you want to go?
out west.
I hear you.
All right, buddy. You have a great night.
You too, man.
All right, see ya.
See ya.